Hi guys, I am finally home!
Former adult film star turned DC sports personality Mia Khalifa says that she was gruesomely threatened by ISIS. The 24-year-old who was born in Beirut, Lebanon, faced controversy in 2015 when she performed sexual acts wearing a hijab.
Were you born in Lebanon? Is that right?
I was born in Beirut, Lebanon.
How did they threaten you?
It was through social media. They photoshopped a picture of me being beheaded.
Did that worry you at all for 1 second?
It would have to.
It does, but I try not to show it because you can't show weakness.
Khalifa covers sports and pop culture and recently launched her own show on the streaming service Twitch.
All right, I want to hear this. I have to ask these questions just because I'm so interested in how a young woman finds her way into that scene, into the porn scene.
Yeah. Low self-esteem, I would say. I wasn't doing it for money. I think I was doing it more for validation because it was about 2 or 3 months after I got my breast augmentation. And my self-esteem was still very low.
Still low.
Yeah. Just because I lost 50 pounds in college. So my breasts were pretty deformed from like all the weight loss. It was such a drastic loss. And I just never really put myself out there like that in college. I never had, those like crazy party nights. I was very studious. I was trying to graduate early because I graduated high school early and I just wanted to get out of school and just start my life. So
where is this?
This was in Miami. Yeah, they don't do this in El Paso.
Okay.
Miami's it's a hotbed for young, vulnerable women.
Yeah. Wow. And so at a bar, at a restaurant,
it was outside of a Fuddruckers in a strip mall. I was just walking across the street.
Seriously?
Yeah, this guy stops, like he had stopped so that I could walk across the street, and he gets out of his car and gives me his card. And I thought about it for about 2 weeks and made the mistake of saying yes and going in. And I did it for about 3 months. And as soon as I started to gain popularity, that's when I was like, okay, I need to get the fuck out of this. Like, this is not what I was trying to do whatsoever.
Right.
I just wanted to let loose and rebel a little bit, and maybe it didn't validate me. Nothing like that ever does. That's not what you should be doing to try and build your self-esteem. But
right, of course. I mean, to do something, because look, I have 10 pages open here on my computer, and you did. Whatever. You did porn. I hate even saying it like that.
It's like Voldemort.
But this is why I have a ton of empathy and respect for you, because while I open up all these articles about you, every one of them starts porn star.
Yeah.
I'll go to the next one, porn star. So for 3 months, you did something which you just admitted was a huge mistake. Every one of these articles, the lead 2 words are porn star.
Yep.
And whereas if you put my name in here and Googled it and opened up 10 articles, obviously I did things for longer than 3 months, every one of those articles starts
Disgraced athlete.
disgraced.
Yeah.
And so it's, and I've watched your whole, I mean, we've been friends for a couple of years, but I've just watched how you have tried hard to reinvent yourself. That's, I mean, look, I'm sitting here now across the table from you because that's what we all did in this room. But 3 months is just, I mean, that must have taken no time. That's just crazy.
It all started to spiral out of control when the death threats from ISIS started coming in.
That's never good. You're the second person to sit here that ISIS wants to kill.
Yeah.
Is that second or third, Higgs? This is a good little trend here. We got next. Can I be on the ISIS list? Probably.
You don't want to be on that list.
Okay, so that was that fast? They got onto it that fast?
Yeah, and that's when I stepped away. Like in February, March.
Because I have first of all, when ISIS says they're going to behead the American porn star, it's on CNN.
It's on CNN, Newsweek, Washington Post,
I mean, that's
like everywhere.
You're done.
Everywhere.
You're out.
And social media is all Mia Khalifa.
Okay, I have one more question about that era.
Yeah.
What did it feel like? Because in life, there's always that moment where you're like, oh my God, this is happening. It could be great, it could be bad. But it's a significant, like, what did the second that you realized, oh my God, the whole world is going to know that I did this, whether it was the CNN article, maybe it was the CNN or the ISIS effect, but
it was that.
It was that.
And also Lebanon saying I wasn't welcome back in the country ever again. It's where I was born. It's where I spent the first 10 years of my life.
Yeah.
It's where all of my memories are. Like, I got drunk for the first time with my cousins going back over the summer when I was 15 years old. Like, my first kiss was in Lebanon. Like,
and you still can't go back?
No.
Ever?
I don't think so. And even if I do go back, I don't think I would feel safe or welcomed.
Right. Yeah. But
just that I can't take my kids to show them where their culture's from, like my future kids.
So you have some more breaking news here?
Oh my God.
Kids on the way?
No. 2 dogs is enough. I got to find a way to put them through college first.
And that was after you had left, or was that the
It all happened around the same time.
Okay, so you're like, all right, I got to get out of this.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It was all in the span of like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks.
God.
Yeah.
Your head must have been completely spinning.
Yeah. I mean, I lost everything. I lost my normalcy. I lost my family. I lost respect from half the world. I lost my homeland, everything.
Yeah.
I was completely alone.
What keeps you up at night? This is the last question. And don't say your dogs or the ambulance that goes by. What keeps you up at night? I.e., what stresses you out? Or what do you worry about?
What I worry about the most is longevity. Like, how long can I do this for if I don't succeed at rebranding and turning everything around?
You think about that?
Yeah. Of course I think about my future.
I know, because
I think about missing my siblings growing up and if I'll be invited to their wedding or if I'll get a phone call saying, hey, grandma passed away, or if they'll just never tell me. Those are the things that keep me up at night.
Damn.
You know what's funny? I just quite literally got done arguing with another one of these excuse-making apologetist Negroes on one of Akwasi, aka Brother Logic and Common Sense's videos. As a matter of fact, the last video he made about Kanye mess and the buffoonery that he put on at the White House last week. And I found myself repeatedly trying to explain to a Negro that claimed to be older than me why the civil rights movement was misdirected and a failure in a world where we see Black people hitting negative statistics on all fronts across the board. From teen pregnancy to STD rates to poverty to unemployment to imprisonment to criminal records to failing schools to high school dropouts. I mean, it's pretty damn obvious that you don't have to look too fucking far to realize the truth about so-called Black America, which is that we are and have been failing and losing for quite some time. You know how these black ratchets used to always talk about somebody needs to have several seats? We couldn't even find a damn seat when the game of musical chairs stopped. As a matter of fact, most of us are so fucking slow, we didn't even realize the music had stopped. We didn't even realize we were in the damn game. So we were still stepping and fetching. By the time the game of musical chairs stopped and everybody else sat down, we were still jiggling and jiving, stepping and fetching, jumping around like a bunch of fucking something I can't say on YouTube, thinking we were being cool when we were doing nothing but putting on the display something that the world already thinks of and perceives us as. But again, that's a subject for another video. Now, as I told you guys, I'm working on what I have now decided is going to be a 5-part video series regarding the weakness of black men. And again, as I said before in my first video on this issue, which was actually a prelude, this is going to be, or this has been, a video series, the first video series I've done in about a year, the first serious video series that I've done in about a year, that was inspired by this whole Kanye mess buffoonery that we saw at the White House with Donald Trump looking at this dude and thinking to himself, like that coach that looked at Forrest Gump run out of the stadium during the football game, saying, probably thinking to himself, this is one dumb monkey see, monkey do, retarded motherfucker. So I decided after that to really research this whole issue with, the weakness of black males. And I came up with some very, very interesting segments of history that I'm going to share with you guys across this video series. But before I did, I decided to add a little something else to this mix. This is crazy. This is actually going to be a 7-part series when I get through. I'll probably slip in other videos in between it, but each video title should be similar or verbatim, with just some changes in parts of the title to let you know that it's an extension of the series. I decided to add a second prelude to this. So this is going to be prelude 2 of the 2-part prelude of this weakness of black men 7-part series that I'm working on. Because as I was talking about the, as we now know, murdered and dismembered Saudi reporter, and I was talking about how particularly these Arabian men keep their people, both their men and their women, in line. And that's the real reason why that Saudi reporter, that the royal family is now, they're preparing to come out and say, yeah, we killed him. We ordered him to be interrogated when he came to the consulate, and we gave his ass the hookup. Oops. Interrogator took it a little too far, beat the shit out of his ass a little too hard, and he wound up dead. I mean, that was like some mafia style hit shit they put on his motherfucking ass. But I used that story that's been all over the news, as many of you know, to exemplify what I mean when I say that other men of other cultures don't tolerate this shit. Not just from their women, but their men as well. But as I thought about that particular story, I also went back in time in my mind and realized that there was also in recent years a female version of these Arabian men, particularly these Muslim men, keeping their women in check as well, or an example of it, because we know they keep their women in check. But for those of you who follow the adult entertainment industry or just stuff that goes viral on YouTube, there was this little porn whore by the name of Mia Khalifa that she came on the scene in late 2014, from what I understand, and she had the most meteoric, and many people would even say strange, unlikely rise to superstardom in the porn world that anybody had ever seen, even above like, Jenna Jameson or somebody like that. And it was primarily because she carried out what in the Islamic world is a cardinal sin. She wore the traditional Muslim garb during a sex scene for bangbrothers.com, which is ultra popular porn production company based, I think, in Miami, Florida. And she was humping up and down on the dick of one of these porn dudes, but she did it in Muslim garb. Now, for those of you who don't know anything about Mia Khalifa, for the sake of this video, because I really don't care about whores that much at all. I really, they disgust me. I understand that whores have been around since the times of what the Christians believe was Jesus Christ, and they'll be around long after we're gone. They're kind, just like bacteria, they're just necessary evil. They're just part of the human story and part of nature, I guess. Out of so many millions of females, you're going to have females that, will fuck for money. And, some of them are very nice looking females. Me personally, I think Mia Khalifa is really not that good looking. She's an average chick at best. She got some work done on her boobs and her ass, and she's really an average, basic looking chick. She really is nothing impressive. My landlord's ex-secretary could smoke her in a looks competition, and I think she was like Lebanese as well. But anyway, Mia Khalifa was a Lebanese-born whore whose family migrated in, I think they said, the late 90s to the United States. And she was actually raised as a Catholic, not a Muslim, but she was still Arabic. Now, at some point, she decided that being a penis-sucking whore was what she wanted to do for a living. She described it as being, going through her rebellious stage of life. And I don't know what it is about Catholic schoolgirls and girls that were raised in very conservative, religiously devout families, but them be some of the main ones in the porn industry. Once again, this is why I tell people, if I have children, which is unlikely, I'm never going to have a daughter. I'm just not, because it's like the more you try to raise kids nowadays, they're not just being raised by their parents. They're being raised by social media and pop culture and peer pressure and all this other shit as well. And at the end of the day, the child, as they get older, has to make their own decision about what path they want to follow. And most of them don't wind up following the path of Mother Teresa, if you get my drift. Okay? But, so she decided that she wanted to go against, how she was raised, and, by her parents and her family. And she went from, going to a private military school and then a private Catholic school to porn. And so, she decided to get into the porn industry, and it wasn't so much her being Arabic that was the problem. That wasn't the issue. Okay. It's rare. It's not nearly as common as it is for other ethnic groups of females that are in the porn industry. But you do have Arab, you even have Muslim porn actresses. They're very rare, but you do have them. What the controversy was when she did her first porn video and she put on the traditional Muslim headscarf for Arab women, and she was humping up and down on some white dude, and that drew controversy and an uproar in the Middle East like you wouldn't believe. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I remember hearing something about this back a few years ago. It kind of swooped. It was one of those headline type of things that, you kind of hear like Justin Bieber's name, but you don't really pay attention to it. And so it caused such an uproar that people in the Lebanese government was talking about it. The Muslim Brotherhood was talking about it. A lot of Lebanese college students were talking about it. It was it was the talk of the town in the Middle East, and the attention that she received eventually spread worldwide to the point where people made such a fuss about this little average looking whore, during a porn scene in the Muslim headscarf, that her name went viral and she became the most searched for porn star on the internet in internet history, in adult film history, and Pornhub listed her as the #1 performer. And the funny thing is, I've heard black guys say this about this hoe. I've heard white guys say this about this hoe. And I'm not talking about black guys and white guys that were watching her movies. I'm talking about interviews that actors and people that were on set with this hoe said. They said that she can't take dick. She wasn't even that good at her job. She can't take dick. So, look, I'm not sure. I'm trying to make a point here, and I'm going too far off into this hoe's life story. But the point of the matter is, she pissed a lot of people off in the Middle East. Okay, now this is the dynamic that I need y'all to understand: the vast difference between you black men and, for example, say other men like Arab Muslim men. And the reason why, not only the reason why you don't see an overriding majority of Arab or Muslim women acting out of pocket like this Mia Khalifa, but why her porn career came to an abrupt end. And not only did it come to an abrupt end, but she admitted that she was stupid when she was in porn. See, I'm going to explain to y'all why there's a vast difference in the level of respect that those women, even the ones that act out of pocket, have for their man's opinion versus the vast amounts of disrespect that your women have for your opinion. Okay? Now, she said that she wanted to be rebellious, but a lot of people, including a lot of scholars, agreed that she took it too far when she put that Muslim head garb on. She was trying to defend it, talking about, it was satire and this and that and the third. Well, a lot of people were making an uproar about it, but then, she became so viral, word got around to the Islamic State. Word got around to them ISIS boys. Now, look, I can tell you right now, okay? I don't care whether you're talking about the Italian mafia. I don't care whether you're talking about the Ku Klux Klan. I don't care whether you're talking about the Bloods and the Crips, MS-13, the fucking Nazis. I have rarely seen, on just a cruelty scale, I have never seen the gore violence and heartlessness on such a scale as that which is doled out by the Islamic State when they decide they don't like you. Them motherfuckers are on fucking fleek when it comes to fucking a motherfucker up. They do not play. They do not take no shit. I'm telling you. I don't condone what they do. I'm just telling you, okay? I seen these motherfuckers blow a 13-year-old boy's head off with a fucking Remington pump action shotgun, line him up against the wall and shoot him and like 3 other boys because they were spraying graffiti on a fucking wall. Are you fucking serious? And I think one of the boys was killed because they sprayed graffiti of like a half-naked woman or some shit. Them boys, them ISIS dudes don't play that shit. Okay, we can talk about how them Muslim radicals keep women in line, but when you think about it, they keep men in line a lot more because they will straight up murk your ass. They beliefs, like, not that, I know some of y'all heard they throw homosexual dudes off rooftops head first. Look, you don't want to be on their bad side and be somewhere close where they can get to you. Okay, so Mia Khalifa's story got around to Islamic State. Now, the one thing we know about Islamic State is back, when they were really, trending, and they still kind of are now, but they've fallen off a little bit. They exceeded Al Qaeda, Hezbollah, all these other, Arab gangster terrorist groups. They actually were the first ones. They were the innovators of mixing gangster with terrorism. I mean, these motherfuckers. Some straight gangster fucking mafioso motherfuckers. They were very good, unlike Al Qaeda and some of the groups that came before them. They were very good with mixing their radical beliefs with social media. ISIS is very good with social media. And that's why they drew so many young people, including young females, to their movement, to the point where you had Muslim females leaving parts of Europe like Great Britain to go marry an ISIS fighter. Okay? So when Islamic State, they found out about this Mia Khalifa whore, riding dick in the Muslim garb, they said, okay, we gonna let it be known to this hoe. Cause the other thing about ISIS is they have ways of finding out where you at. And they have computer hackers. So they basically gave this chick the business. They found out her email and they sent her a direct threat. Then they made a mock video dressing some other female up to look just like her and staging a mock beheading, making it look like it was Mia Khalifa. Then posted that video online. Then they hacked her, I think her Twitter account, and started posting ISIS propaganda. And Mia Khalifa, she was describing in this video with Lance Armstrong, this interview with Lance Armstrong, don't ask, that she woke up one morning and her cell phone, her iPhone was blowing up off the motherfucking hook. I mean, it was off the chain. She had like 50 different people calling her and texting her and asking her, has she seen the video? So when this hoe woke up that morning, she went online. She just typed in her name and there was ISIS beheading her. And ISIS was letting her whole ass know under no uncertain terms, hey, we don't like what you did. We don't appreciate what you did. Oh, and by the way, in her email, they sent her a picture of her address, letting them know that even though she's living in the United States, they know where she lives. So they let her know in no certain terms, hey, baby girl, you from our tribe. We don't appreciate what you did. And if you keep doing it, this is what we gonna do to you for sure. Now, even if you stop doing it, we still might do this to you. But we definitely gonna do this to you if you keep doing it. And do you know this chick, as soon as she saw that shit within a few days, she said she had a change of heart. She had just signed a new contract with Bang Brothers. She had a change of heart, broke the contract, and decided to drop completely out of the damn porn industry. Later, she did an interview and admitted that she was young and dumb, and she moved on with her whole ass and found something more constructive to do with her life. Just like that, because of a threat from ISIS, because of a threat from some Arab dudes that said they didn't like her shit, she immediately cleaned up her fucking act. Immediately. Without the blink of a fucking eye. And admitted that what she did was fucking wrong. Now she's some YouTube personality, she's still doing webcam modeling. But she did not dare ever pull that shit ever a fucking again. Wearing the Muslim headscarf and fucking on camera. She never did that shit again, and she dropped completely out of the porn business. She admitted that ISIS's threat scared her half to death because she knows that them motherfuckers ain't playing. Especially when they showed her pictures of where she lived. See, and again, I'm not suggesting or condoning. Like I said, ISIS, them motherfuckers are fucked up. They do some evil, cruel, heartless shit to people. Okay? But, even if you wasn't talking about ISIS, okay? You take a Mia Khalifa, all right, on one side of the spectrum. And you take, like, say, one of these swirling bimbos in the black community. Okay? And you look at the vast difference of how they reacted to their tribe of man's disapproval of what the fuck that they're doing. Okay? Now this was a woman that wasn't, this hoe was a female that wasn't even Muslim. Okay? But she thought that she could exploit for the sake of gaining attention to herself, bringing attention to herself. She thought she could exploit Muslim religious customs by wearing, the burqa scarf on her head in a porn film. And ISIS, among many other factions, and just Arab people in general, Muslim people in general, let her know that shit wasn't gonna fly. And ISIS let her ass know, hey, we'll give you the hookup. You ever been to the barbershop? We done took many motherfuckers to the barbershop. We know you're a female, but we'll take your ass to the barbershop. She cleaned that shit up. Do you know that her porn career, even though she had the most meteoric rise in the adult film industry that has ever been seen, primarily because she was being searched for so much after that controversy by people in the Middle East. Her career didn't last 6 months. It started in October of 2014. It was over by January of 2015. She didn't last but 3, maybe 4 months. She stopped all of that shit. And she went on to do something else with her life. She even moved. She switched cities. She changed where she lived. When she did this, she lived in Miami. She moved all the way to Austin, Texas, out of fear for her life. And I think even more than that, out of respect for what her tribe of men said. They said, hey, you cut this shit out. Even if ISIS couldn't get to her ass, she had to have security everywhere she went because she was scared of something happening to her. But out of respect for what her men say, because unlike you Negroes, when them Arab boys say some shit to they people, that shit carries weight. Okay? That's like the Italian mafia. Okay? When the Don give you orders, you better do that fucking shit. You better carry out them damn orders. She respected what her tribe of man said because she knew it carried weight. Whether it was just a criticism you know, a constructive criticism, you know, politically motivated, or a direct threat. She know that them motherfuckers, they don't fuck around. You know, we call them ragheads and all this other stuff, but they don't fuck around when it comes to people in their own tribe. They don't play that shit. Y'all do, but they don't. That's why you don't see too many Mia Khalifas. That's why you don't see too many Muslim women disrespecting their religion and their custom by, even if they're gonna do porn, they don't be wearing the fucking headscarf. See, she thought that shit was cute. Because she had all this Americanized shit in her head, just like that fucking Saudi reporter did, thought he could talk all that shit about Saudi Arabia. But she knew that just like that Saudi reporter found out, she was going to get the fucking hookup if she kept acting like a fucking fool. And she fell the fucking line. Again, even though she's not Muslim, even though she's thousands of miles away from them crazy motherfuckers, living in the United States for years, technically an American citizen. You know, she spake with a valley white girl accent and all of that. Went to American school, American university, graduated. You know, that's why we tell y'all, you know, these females always talking about they had degrees don't mean nothing. They be the biggest hoes. But she cleaned that shit up. It came to an abrupt end. Because she respected the word of men that ain't even in the same country as her. But they're part of her tribe. And she know that they don't fuck around. Again, black men, this is a stark difference in how your woman treats and looks at you. Just saying. Just thought I'd bring that up. Talk to you later, guys.